From a simply hockey fan standpoint, this game was awesome. It had pretty much everything. Goals of all shapes and sizes, fights, massive hits, a late comeback, swings in momentum left and right. You really could not ask for more from a strictly hockey fan standpoint. From the Avs side of things, though, that ending really did hurt. Avs lose to the Florida Panthers 4-3 in overtime. This game was all over the place on the Avs side of things. They regularly got rewarded for not playing well, and when they did play well, they couldn't figure out how to convert. They muddled their way through most of the first period as Florida had control, the Avs taking a penalty just 7 seconds into the game, and then a bit later failing to score on their own first power play attempt as well. The entire first period, it was pretty clear most of the Avs forward core was still adjusting to playing with new line mates at game speed, which makes a lot of sense given that everyone was playing with different players except for one line. What was the fourth line, now really the third line, was still together, and of course, they keep the train rolling. This is just quintessential Avs fourth line, or third line now, I guess, if you want to call it that. Bellemare just simply outworks two Florida players deep in the zone here to get it up the near boards. Nieto comes in for the assists and helps chip it out. And you'll even see as the camera angle changes here, Sam Girard pinching in and taking a hit to help make this play. And it leaves a ton of free space for Matt Calvert in a prime scoring position. They do eventually get him the puck. Calvert does kind of back himself out of this position, but still leaves himself a good spot to shoot from. Would have liked to see him maybe take a little bit more advantage of all this space that he has, but nonetheless, for the fourth line, that's exactly how they create opportunities. And as Calvert loads up, you're going to see Bellemare immediately crashing the net. Nieto immediately following up and crashing the net. They know where the dirty areas are, and they know they have to get to them. Calvert's shot is not great. The shot is very likely going wide and ends up getting blocked on the way in, but the hard work gets rewarded as Bellemare is the first man there. The puck drops right down for him so he can find it right on his stick. He makes an attempt, doesn't work out, but that's where Nieto comes in as the second man crashing in, beats every single Panther there despite not being the first man on the puck, and that gets rewarded. He's just able to get it on his stick and flip it up and towards Bobrovsky, and it finds its way through. That line functions incredibly well right now for the Avs. It provides that stabilizing factor for them as the rest of the lineup is a little bit of chaos. The fact that they're scoring way above the level expected of them is a bonus. The thing is, down 1-0, Florida starts to push a bit more, and what was the Avs getting by despite getting outplayed quickly turns into Florida completely controlling. And then they just straight up score a pretty goal. Credit where credit's due on this one. After outworking the Avs down low, Florida works this puck up to the point and eventually over across to the near side to Ekblad. And you're going to see the Avs are set up pretty darn well on defense. Every man has their mark. Kadri is very quick about getting out and challenging Ekblad here on the near side, reading the play well. But Ekblad kind of just flips a bit of a wrister shot pass type play past Kadri. It's a good shot. And that's fine. Perfect world where you know what's going to happen before it does. Cale Makar needs to tie up this stick, but that's a really big ask of a guy heading out away from the nets and leaving the hash marks. You can't really expect a whole lot of danger from that, and yet Colton Sevier puts just an unbelievable tip on this puck, and no one is ever stopping that. If you have players that can run that play with any consistency, both Ekblad getting the shot through clean to Sevier, and then Sevier hitting the tip that gets it on net, you're going to score an absurd amount of goals. I mean, that is just a great goal. As the Avs, you kind of just shrug your shoulders and say, what can you do? You played defense well. You did everything right, but some shots are just unstoppable. More possession is the real answer here. Don't let the Panthers dominate the puck in your zone. Get it out and play offense. The best defense is a good offense. Back to tied. The pacing of the period gets a bit weird. Things slowed down quite a bit for both sides. Ian Cole ends up taking a penalty that was pretty dumb, and he would take another one later in this game, but he gets away with them. The Avs kill both of Ian Cole's penalties. Just keep that in mind for later. So it's 1-1 as the first is winding down, and the feeling for the most part is the Avs did not play very well, and escaping tied would be a good feeling. But Nathan MacKinnon exists on this team. I still don't think this was his absolute A+ game, but it was at least an A- for him. With Rantanen and Landeskog out, the Avs desperately needed him to step up, so he did. It's not a clean play, but look at how much movement happens on this play. Donskoy challenges on the forecheck here and gets in and eventually is able to kind of kick at the puck to keep it in the offensive zone. MacKinnon in behind immediately jumps on the puck and cuts to the middle of the ice. A lot of movement already, and you're creating chances. Things get messy. Holding on to the puck isn't really something that's easy to do when you have 4 players all coming in around you, so the puck does skate loose a little bit, but it comes right to Cale Makar, who also immediately jumps on the puck. The Avs retain possession. They continue moving the puck around the zone. MacKinnon continues moving his feet, and off-screen, Sam Girard is sliding in as well, moving his feet. Gets down over to Kadri, who works it back up through to Girard. Again, another messy play, not a clean pass, but look at what you have done to the Florida Panthers by moving the puck and moving your feet quickly. They are very compact, very tight down deep. This is not an ideal defense. Have 3 players in a line this close together in the slot, essentially not really guarding anything. The pass comes through to Girard. It's a little clean. He just tries to get rid of it quickly and finds MacKinnon out at the top of the zone near the point. MacKinnon's going to fire off a shot here, and this thing is a seeing eye beauty. He just threads a needle through 3 Florida players to get this puck on nets. In front, waiting, Donskoy has slipped all the way down, screening Bobrovsky. The rebound comes out, he finds it, and just slaps it home. Bobrovsky has no chance with a rebound like that. It doesn't have to be clean, it doesn't have to be pretty, but sometimes you gotta let the dogs off the leash. Let them skate, let them run around a little bit, and chances will get created. Also, if Nathan MacKinnon is capable of getting shots like that through regularly, why ever let the defenseman shoot, especially on the power play? Just feed that man and tell him to shoot it. That gets MacKinnon to a 12-game point streak, just continuing to extend that Avalanche record, and he sneaks the team off the ice in a period that they really should have lost 2-1 on the scoreboard. And the second period, for the most part, was the polar opposite of that. The Avs completely dominated. I mean, they were murdering the Panthers in possession. I believe shots were 17-2 at one point in this period. I love the mentality. The Avs did not look afraid to shoot one bit. Every single forward on the Avs was ready to fire pucks at Bobrovsky, and with the players out, with the players that are missing, that needs to be something they do. But sometimes you can play better hockey and not get the results. The Avs absolutely looked great, but none of those 17 shots ended up in the back of the net. Whether it was Sergei Bobrovsky playing extremely well or just getting a bit unlucky. The closest the Avs got was Nikita Zadorov hitting a post, the 14th bad one of the season. Even so, it was 15 minutes of great hockey from the Avs. All of the lines that were trying to find themselves in the first period seemed to just click and start creating and possessing the puck, keeping it away from Florida. Florida was even struggling to get through the neutral zone cleanly. Grubauer was also playing well behind the Avs. In the first period, he made this ridiculous chicken wing save, which is just not even possible according to my brain and physics, but he did it. And the Avs would need him again at the end of the second. The last 5 minutes of the period, the Avs certainly seemed to run out of gas a bit, and Florida started pushing back. It was 17-2 in shots. The period ended 17-11. So Grub had to make a solid 9 saves in that last 5 minutes of the second. He did. The Avs get out of the second period still up 2-1, which felt a little lacking because of how well they played, but still a lead after 2 you take. Also, Nazem Kadri got in a fight with Uyghur at the very end of the period for reasons. don't think Kadri won the fight, and also it was just weird and didn't really matter. And then we have the third period, which started out nicely for the Avs. I thought it was fairly even. Avs leading, you'll take that all day. You want to see the Avs continue to push the offense and not fall into that turtle, and that's what they did. Without Rantanen, without Landeskog, it's going to be a lot harder for the Avs to just simply outscore their opponents. They're going to have to try to win games 3-2, beat teams by getting enough goals and holding it down. Also, dropping an absolutely massive Z-smash helps as well, which is exactly what Zadorov did. Let's go in chronological order here. Zadorov absolutely crushes Howerlick, which you can see here. 100% clean, beautiful hit. That is what Zadorov does. You know he's feeling it when he's playing like that. And it gets the Avs juiced as 30 seconds later, the other guy, Nathan MacKinnon, comes up huge once again. Clean face-off win by Kadri back to Cole. You'll love to see it. You know, that's one of the reasons they brought him in. And you're going to see Nathan MacKinnon actively chooses to go all the way out to the center point, and he wants the puck there. He gets it. He doesn't even think about it. He knows it's already worked once, and it looks eerily similar here. It's going to work again. He threads the needle, gets through the initial Florida Panthers. That's 2 bodies up high, another 2 down low, and 2 Avs as well screening. It does get deflected on the way through, and he gets not just a little bit, but a lot lucky here. But superstars find a way. The puck gets all the way through and dribbles into the net. Seriously, MacKinnon might actually be the best point shooter on the team. I'm not even joking about that. At 2-point night for him, his numbers are starting to really pull away from everyone else on the team with Rantanen out now. So you go up 3-1 and you're thinking, great, the Avs can lock it down here and secure this W. The next couple of minutes are just fine. Things are still even. Florida clearly shaken up by that Zadorov hit and getting the goal against. And then Zadorov steps back out onto the ice. And this was a mess. There were players on the Panthers that had been chirping Zadorov all game, and that amplified about tenfold after he laid down the huge clean hit. In this shift that started with about 9 minutes left to go in the game, a Florida Panther player, Dryden Hunt, stepped onto the ice and basically just followed Zadorov around for the entire shift. Not trying to play hockey, being a pest, chirping, basically everything that would fall under both unsportsmanlike conduct and instigating, trying to get a fight started. I say all this because there was no penalty additionally called on him. As this eventually escalates, Zadorov starts to understand that the refs aren't going to help him out here, so he takes matters into his own hands and takes a mighty whack at the back of his calf. That is a slashing penalty. It is a dumb penalty. I'm not trying to deny any of that, but you have to take the context into consideration here. The resulting scrum ends up with Zadorov and Hunt getting into it a little bit. Some gloves come off, but it's not officially called a fight. They both get roughing minors. They both get 10-minute misconducts, which means they're done for the rest of the game. And Zadorov gets an extra 2 for that slash, despite being clearly instigated into it. And I think the refs mismanaged this situation. You knew that Florida was going to be looking for something like this after Zadorov's bomb of a hit, and they didn't do anything about it. They didn't warn anyone. They didn't try to break anything up as Florida was chasing Zadorov around the ice. They just let it happen. And when the refs aren't going to manage the game, the players are going to take it into their own hands. I really don't understand how Florida gets a power play out of that situation, but it's what happened, and you deal with it. The Avs are still up 2 here. This should still be a game that they can win. Now remember, this was a bad penalty by Zadorov. I accept that. But nobody's talking about the 2 bad penalties from Cole because they didn't score on those 2 penalties, despite it being the same situation. On Zadorov's, of course, though, they do, and they do it quick. Kind of a jump ball face-off here, and I just don't know what EJ does. He's not able to collect the puck, and he kind of just falls over and doesn't really do anything to win the puck battle. This gives Florida enough room to get the puck back up and out to the point and get set up on the power play. Gets worked to the far point. Nothing fancy here, maybe a little bit of the Avs getting their own medicine. A shot that just kind of has eyes, finds its way through, gets deflected off of Barkov, and Grubauer just about saves it, but it just trickles through. I don't know. I can't put this on Zadorov. Sure, again, the penalty was bad, but this was more a situation of circumstance, and laying down a big hit is what he's supposed to do. Getting the other team agitated is what he is supposed to do. He succeeded in that. The Avs paid the price, but they're still up 3-2, up a goal with about 8 minutes left in the game. That's still a game that the Avs should win. They should be able to close out games like this. That is the defining mark of true contenders. They find ways to win games, especially games that they're supposed to win. And for the first time this whole season, the Avs absolutely full hard turtle shell. I mean, they go all the way back into it. And it was not good hockey from them. Very good hockey from Florida. They took full advantage, completely possessing the puck and working the puck around the offensive zone like it was nothing. But for the Avs side, yikes. After 53 minutes of really entertaining hockey, the Avs kind of just stopped playing it altogether. And they still survived for a while. Grubauer was looking locked in net to try and hold it down and get them out of here. But eventually Florida pulled the goalie, and the Avs system does that thing that it so often does, and it costs them. As is so often the case when the Avs are down a man on the ice, they just completely give up the point. Now, this is fine to some extent. You're down a man and you don't want anything dangerous to be going on down low deep in your zone, but look at how tight this triangle is. Are you really accomplishing anything? What is Belmar covering here that Ian Cole is not? Not a whole lot, right? You're really just stacking your players for no reason. So as this puck gets worked over to the far boards to Huberdeau, he all of a sudden finds himself with a ton of room to skate into and is going to take advantage of it. And then we get this shot block mentality thing from the Avs, where Belmar half commits, finds himself in no man's land, and just kind of has to try and block the shot. Fully commit here, man. Just go out there, get in the guy's face, and make him walk you. If he walks you, he walks you. You get beat. But if you're on top of him, he has to make a decision quicker. He has less room to shoot the puck, and he can't walk in as far. It's going to take options away from him unless he can just beat you clean. Instead, he gets to walk into the top of the circle, lets the shot fly, a million bodies in front. Grubauer never even sees it, and it's a tie ball game. You let 2 points in regulation get away from you because you decided you just didn't want the puck anymore for the last 7 minutes of this game. That's bad hockey. A defensive structure that regularly gets exposed by simply working it low to high, also not great. But the Avs do survive to get it into overtime and secure at least 1 point. Now, you probably already know the result of the game, and that's going to hurt. But when you look at Rantanen out of the lineup, Landeskog out of the lineup, you can play 500 hockey. You're doing okay until you get Rantanen back in. OT losses are 500 hockey. So maybe at least a silver lining there. Now that I've given you a little bit of hope, let's completely crush it to pieces. Avs never really possessed the puck in this overtime. You're going to see a bit of a sloppy zone entry here. The pass through was nice, but there is a player back, McKinnon, here to cover, and he does a good job of fighting for the puck, getting just enough of it to control it, but when he goes to slide it out of the zone, it just kind of slips off of his stick. Great keep there. Just no way around that. But you're going to see Girard's momentum has carried him out and around away from Huberdeau, as has Donskoy's. And the puck, well, it's going right in between them as they kind of part the seas. Huberdeau, it's a great chance here. I don't know how to feel about this for Grubauer. Obviously an incredibly dangerous chance, so it's hard to blame him in that regard. But just, not only is this the Grubauer poke check, look at how far away his stick is from this puck. I mean, he doesn't even come within 2 feet of successfully making this. This isn't even close. You're not even coming in any realm of saving this shot. Opens up the 5-hole easily, and Huberdeau immediately takes advantage. I mean, Not only is it predictable, it's just bad. The concern here is the Avs got a lot of the pieces they needed to win a game. They got McKinnon stepping up in the absence of other star players. They got the fourth line giving them a depth goal. They got good goaltending from Grubauer for 57 minutes of this game, but they still lost. The good news is Rantanen's timetable seems to be accelerated here, and that will be a huge boon if the Avs can get him back soon. That is the end of this game video review. Thank you for watching. If you like content like this, head on over to thednvr.com and consider signing up for a membership to look at our premium content. If you want to help me out, you can sign up for an annual or higher membership and use code RUDO in the promo code. I am Rudo, and I think this upcoming back-to-back this weekend will tell us a lot about this Avs team.